Hi, and thank you for tuning in. I have this awesome story from Lost Scriptures for this very day and this very hour. So let's get right into it. There was a man named Sarasedon, Antiochus the Fourth, Ephipians, a lover of wickedness, who boasted proudly about his many horses and the strength of the soldiers under his command. He had a multitude of priests who ministered to his idols he worshipped, bowing down and offering sacrifices to them. Both night and day, in the blindness of his heart, he believed these idols gave him lasting power and stability. In his mind, they were the source of all of his domain and control. And whenever they were represented in physical form, he believed they bestowed upon him all the authority he desired. So he continued offering sacrifices to them without ceasing day and night. He appointed priests to carry out these acts of worship to his idols. These priests, while feasting on the defiled offerings, deceived him, pretending that the idols were consuming the food both day and night. They also recruited others to follow their example, to make offerings to the feast, and to continue the same pattern of worship and sacrifice. Yet Sarah Sedan placed his trust in lifeless idols, things that could neither help nor bring any real gain. Because the days were short and his understanding darkened, it seemed to him that the idols had created him, nourished him, and crowned him. He believed they were the source of his existence, for Satan had dulled his reasoning, so he would not recognize his true creator, he who brought him from death into life, nor would he or his kinsmen acknowledge the one who made them, bringing them from nothing into being. And so they were led toward the eternal fire of Gehenna, along with all who called those false gods by the name deity, though they were not gods at all, since they never bring any good. It is fitting to call them what they are, dead things, for the power of Satan, who leads them astray, dwells in those lifeless images. He speaks what they want to hear and reveals to them. They are dead things for the power of Sedan, those lifeless images. He speaks what they want to hear and reveals to them the desires of their hearts. Therefore, yea, will bring judgment upon the idols in which they trusted, idols in whom the children of Adam placed in their hope, though their thinking was no more than ashes. And when they see that the idols gave them what they had longed for, they will be amazed. But according to their desires, they will go so far as to sacrifice their own sons and daughters. Children born from their own bodies, shedding the blood of sons and daughters who were pure and innocent. And this did not grieve them, for Satan delighted in it, their offerings to the idols. Through them, he fulfilled his wicked schemes, leading them downward into Gehenna, just as he was cast down into a place with no escape for all eternity, where he will suffer torment. But Saratan was proud and boastful. He had 50 idols fashioned as male figures, and 20 made in the form of women. He gloried in these useless images, honoring them as he made sacrifices. Morning and evening, he gave commands that others must also offer sacrifices to these idols, and he ate from those defiled offerings. He ordered others to eat as well, stirring them up towards even greater evil. He had 5 houses built to contain his idols, each one crafted from beaten iron, brass, and lead. He adorned them with silver and gold, hung curtains around the houses, and set up a special tent to enshrine them. He appointed guards to watch over the idols, and he regularly offered 40 sacrifices to them, 10 fattened oxen, 10 barren cows, 10 plump up sterile goats, along with various birds of the air. He believed his idols actually consumed these offerings. So he brought them 50 measures of grapes and 50 platters of wheat mixed with oil. And he brought them and said to his priest, "Take these and give them to my idols. Make them eat what I have slaughtered for them, and make them drink the wine I have poured out. And if it is enough, I'll add even more. If it isn't enough, I'll add even more." He commanded everyone to eat and drink from those defiled sacrifices. But in his wickedness, he sent out his soldiers across every kingdom to find anyone who did not bow down or offer sacrifice. If they found such a person, they were to bring him back so he could be punished before the king's eyes with fire and sword. His wealth would be plundered, his house burned, and all he owned destroyed. He declared, "These gods are good and mighty. They created us in kindness, and anyone who does not worship them or offer sacrifice will suffer punishment and misery. For these gods made the heaven and the earth, the vast sea, the sun and the moon, the stars, the rains, the winds, and every living thing in this world to be ours, food and our satisfaction. But all who worship them will face severe judgment and terrible suffering." There was a man from a tribe of, whose name was Meqabyans. He had once 3 sons, in appearance true warriors, and they were loved and respected above all. Others in the land of Midian, which was under the rule of Teratan. But when the king's soldiers found them, they said, "Do you not bow down to Teretan's idols? Do you not offer sacrifices as he commands? If you refuse, we will arrest you and bring you before the king. Your goods will be seized and destroyed, just as the king has decreed." But the young men, in all their beauty and boldness, replied, "The one to whom we bow is our Father's Creator, he who made the heavens and the earth and all that is in them, the sea, the moon, the sun, the clouds, and the stars. He alone is the true Creator, and him we worship and believe in." There were 4 young men altogether standing against 100 of the king's soldiers armed with shields and spears. When the soldiers moved to seize these holy men, the warriors escaped from their grasp. No one could lay a hand on them, for they were mighty in strength, and they turned the tables by seizing shields and spears themselves. One among them had once strangled a panther with his bare hands as easily as one might kill a chicken. Another had slain a lion with a single stone, finishing it off with a single strike from a staff. Yet another had struck down a hundred men with a single sword. The ones they fought came from the lands of Babylon and Midian. These young men were truly mighty warriors, and they carried themselves with strength, beauty, and honor. Their appearance was striking and full of wonder, but it was because they worshipped Yah and did not fear death. That fearless faith is what made their beauty surpass all others. After they had escaped the troops, no one could capture them. The warriors fled to a high mountain where they took refuge. The soldiers returned to the city and locked the gates of the fortress. Then they threatened the people, saying, "If you do not hand over the Maccabean warriors, we will burn your city to the ground. We will report to the king, and your whole land will be destroyed." Then all the people of the land, rich and poor alike, sons and daughters, orphans, widows, came out together, lifting their voices. They stretched their necks towards the mountain and cried out to the warriors, saying, "Do not bring ruin upon us. Do not let our land be destroyed because of this." At their cries, the warriors wept together. A holy fear stirred within them, and they lifted their hearts to Yah, turning their faces towards the east. They raised their hands and cried out to Yah with one voice, saying, "Lord, shall we submit to those who tear down your commandments and disregard your law?" This man puts his trust in silver and gold, in idols of stone and wood. Things shaped by human hands, but we refuse to listen to that wicked one who rejects your law. They said you alone are the creator, the one who gives life and who takes it away. Yet he exalts himself like one of those false gods he believes made him. In truth, he is the one who sheds blood and devours the flesh of men. We want nothing to do with him. We do not want to look upon the face of that criminal or hear his words, they said. But if you command us to go to him, we will obey because we trust in you, even if it means walking to our own deaths. We will go. But when he commands us to offer sacrifice to his idols, we will not listen to that wicked voice. Yet we believe in you, O Lord, you who examine the innermost thoughts and understanding, the creator of our fathers, of Abraham, of Isaac, of Jacob, who walked in your ways and stood firm in your law. You discern every thought of the heart. You help both the sinner who turns and the righteous who stands, and nothing is hidden from your sight. Those who seek refuge are known by you. We have no other creator but you alone. So we are willing to give our bodies over to death for the sake of your holy name, but grant us strength, stability, and shelter in this trial. For you alone are our ruler, just as you heard Jacob's cry when Israel entered Egypt. So now we cry out. Be glorified in us, O God. We love you. And then suddenly the warriors cry out. They saw two men with radiant appearance standing before them. Blazing swords of fire like lightning flashed forth and struck their enemies, cutting through their necks and slaying them. But at once those two men stood whole again, as they were before. Their beauty became even greater. They shone brighter than the sun, and their appearance was more glorious than ever. Mm, I like that story. How about you? I hope it encouraged you. God bless, and have a nice day. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, share, and have an awesome week.